Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, you are welcome for online class. Children, already we saw that the cat and the painkiller first part had been over and we are going to continue the second part. Children, I hope you are all hale and healthy at home, enjoying the days. Yeah, for a long time we are not met, isn't it? Okay, I feel you are all alright at home. Okay, so half a day learning class and how you are maintaining the other day, half a day, doing your homework I believe. Yeah, you have to do your homeworks and send it to us. Okay children, we will go for the class. Okay, the cat and the painkiller, already we saw that here Tom, mischievous boy, he plays some trick with the cat, and what is that story we will see in this lesson. Already we saw the introduction that Tom Sawyer, the cat and the painkiller, written by Mark Twain, and you know he was a child writer and always used to engage the children with this writing, and it is mischievous what the school going children they are doing mostly. And I have already told you that Tom had with his friend they went to an island, and they felt that they didn't return for a long days. And after their parents thought that they were no more and they did, and there was a prayer conducted for their death, that time they were returning, isn't it, from the island. It's clear to you children. Now we stopped there in the last class and we will start the remaining. Okay. Okay, this story is about Tom is becoming very sick. And he was previously, I told you the story that he had not gone for school. He will be troubling his aunt for going to school. After weekend, Monday, he will be creating some problem at home, that he will be saying that he was sick, his head is paining, stomach paining and toe paining, and he is going to die. All scene he will be creating at the home at every Monday morning. And once he was telling his brother Sid that he is going to die, and I told that story already. But here, after he met a girlfriend, Thatcher, here her name is Becky Thatcher, and Becky Thatcher, after meeting her in the school, he felt very happy to go to school. And he was just going to school every day to meet her and talk with her. And one day what happened, Becky Thatcher became sick. And as she becomes sick, what had happened, you know, child? It is a quite child psychology that when a best friend is not coming to school, you also will plan to take a leave. So here he was not happy to go to school and he became very dull boy. So till Becky Thatcher was there, he felt that a friend was for him, and he'll be talking a lot, and he was very energetic to go to school, and he is likely participating in all the activities. But once Becky Thatcher became ill and she had not turned up to school, Tom became very, he was not able to share this point to his aunt and his brother and anyone. So he was become very dull and uninterested to go to school, and uninterested in doing all the works. And when he was not able to do the work, aunt thought that Tom was sick, and she's done her best to him, just giving a hot bath, cold bath, and giving some brushing him and taking care of him, and even giving some medicines. She tried out some medicines, and once what happened, this medicine he was taking, once cat was looking at it. So they had a pet cat and it was looking at it, and what Tom had done, aunt was very much feeling why Tom is like this. She had done her level best to make him energetic and healthy, but he was so dull. And one day when a cat was looking at his medicine, he was telling that, Tom, be serious, I will not give the thing to you. And see, you want it? Then what Tom said, as aunt given him a medicine, he also started giving that medicine to him, to the Tom. And you know that once Tom tasted, Tom given the medicine to the cat, once the cat started tasting it, it felt that it was little not good, and it was just jumping here and there and breaking the things, and just jumped on through the window and ran away. And it was making all sounds there. And you know that when cat is just jumping here and there, all the things all fell, and aunt was just coming and looking at him. Tom was laughing and enjoying the activity what the cat had done. So he was trying the medicine to the cat, and the cat ate, and it was just jumping here and there. And he was telling, feeling to aunt, and he said, "You are so lovely, aunt, you tried all the medicine to me, but there is no aunt for the cat, so I tried the medicine." And aunt also laughed. So that was the story which we are going to learn now, children. It is very clear. We will go by each and every sentence. Okay, it's clear to you? Okay. Becky Thatcher, his friend, had stopped coming to school. This disturbed Tom. He became unhappy. The charm of life was gone. There was nothing but boredom left. He put this hoop away and this bat. There was no joy in them anymore. And so his Aunt Polly was concerned. He was infatuated with patent medicine and all new methods of producing health or mending it. She was an incurable experimenter in these things. So what had happened? Becky Thatcher had not turned up to school. She would become sick and she is not coming to school. This disturbed Tom very much, and he started throwing the hook. You know, he used to go for fishing often in the weekends, and he'll be just playing with other friends, and he stopped everything and put his hoop away and his bat. There was no joy in them anymore. And so his Aunt Paul, Aunt Polly was very much interested and taking care. She thought, what happened to Tom? So she started giving him medicine, all sort of things to make him curable. Okay. She began to try all manners of remedies on Tom. So she started doing all the medicine and what all she can good to make him happy and feel and energetic, like that she started. To make him cure, she had taken much step and she was just giving and everything. The water treatment was new. So she learned some water treatment and she started that. Now, and Tom's low condition was the windfall to her. She had him out of daylight every morning, stood by him up in the wood shed and drowned him in the cold water. Then she rubbed him hard down with the towel like a file. Then she rolled him up in the wet sheet and put him away under blankets. So every day what had done, she started a water treatment. She heard that something was a water treatment, and what she had done, she had started the water treatment. What she was doing, she was taking Tom to the shed, and where water is there, she'll be just putting him, and she'll take a towel and she'll be file him and rub him nicely, and then she'll be put in a dry towel, and then she'll be putting a blanket for him and she'll make him sit somewhere. So daily she was doing this. It was right, but she doesn't know that Becky Thatcher was not coming to school. That's the beauty. Okay. Yet notwithstanding all this, the boy grew more and more sad and pale. So aunt started all new things to give him a treatment, but he became sad and sad. What is in his mind, she had not asked him or she had not shared anything. She started giving a treatment for him. She thought that he was not feeling well. And dejected. So other cure, when you are giving the treatment, right, some cure which is there, for that related medicine, if you give only, that cure will take place. Here she had started doing something. She added hot bath. First she given cold bath, then she added hot baths, Swiss bath, shower baths and plunges. So she had given a hot bath, Swiss bath she had given, shower baths she had given, and plunges means she put him in the water tub and she was just taking him and just doing all. The boy remained bored. She began to assist the water with a slim oatmeal diet and blister blaster. So she was, what all she is hearing, she started doing. She was giving oatmeal to him and blister blaster diet and blister blaster. What all others giving her tips and idea, she started doing it, and she started doing it. She calculated his capacity and filled him up every day with quack alls. So she'll be calculating his temperature, capacity, weight, be calculating the weight and how much food must be given, everything. She was cautiously taking care of him. He became fed up, and so he thought over various plans of relief, and finally hit upon processing to be found of a painkiller. So at last what she had done, she had just gone for a painkiller. So she thought that he is having something very serious disease or something disaster to him, and he must be cured. So she started giving painkiller also for him, quite bothering her. So aunt ended by telling him to help himself and quite bothering him. So he asked for it so often that he began a nuisance, and his aunt ended by telling him to help himself and quit bothering her. Sometimes he will be asking, auntie, this is paining, I want a painkiller. So sometimes the aunt will give, and sometimes she will be saying that you have to adjust without that. So this was going on. When it is happening like this, she found that the medicine did really diminish, but did not occur to her that the boy was mending the health of the crack in sitting room floor with it. So what had happened, aunt started giving him a painkiller, sort of a medicine. Only the medicine is reducing and he is not cured. So aunt was very much bored with that. So she was giving medicine, but only medicine is reducing, there is no cure in his body. One day, Tom was in the act of dosing the crack when his aunt's cat Peter. So here the cat name is Peter, and aunt was having a pet cat, his name is Peter, and what Tom was doing to it, you know? Okay, we'll see. Came along, pouring the teaspoon greedily and begging for a taste. Tom said, don't ask for it unless you want it, Peter. So what he started saying is, you know that when pet animal, if you started eating even a medicine, it will be looking with a thing. So the cat also just pulling from his hand with a spoon. It is just showing that it is want of it. So Tom was giving a warning to it, unless it is needed, you must not take it, is a painkiller, he is saying. But Peter signified that he did not want it, but better make sure. So he is asking. So it is just doing the same action. So Tom thought that Peter needs it, and you better make sure. Peter was sure to taste it. So Peter was ready. So here Peter is that cat. Now you asked for it and I will give it to you, because there ain't anything mean about me. But if you find out don't like it, you mustn't blame anybody but your own self. So Tom is telling very clearly to the Peter, see, as you were asking it and just giving. Later if taste is not good, you must not blame me. So he is telling very clearly, the blame goes not to anybody, to your own self. It is very clear. So he is talking with the Peter cat, and he started giving it. Peter was agreeable. So Peter also, you know, a pet animal will be knowing what you are speaking to you, the animals, isn't it, with the pets. So it had accepted. So Peter was agreeable. So Tom opened his mouth and poured some down the painkiller. Peter sprang a couple of yards in the air and then delivered a war whoop and set off round and round the room, banging against furniture, upsetting the floor parts and making general confusion. Next he rose on his feet and danced around in a frenzy of enjoyment with. So what had happened, it started tasting the thing, and after tasting it was not good. And so it was jumping here and dancing and moving around everywhere and just making everything to fall. And there was a lot of sound. You know that when sound is there, what aunt will be doing? She will be running around. So you can see how it has made the situation. So by giving it, Tom was just giving, it is just eating and just falling here and there, just pushing everything, and just ran away outside the window. And once aunt came, his head over his shoulder and his voice proclaiming his happiness, then he went tearing around the house again, spreading chars and destruction in his path. Aunt Polly entered in time to see him through a few double Somersets deliver a final mighty hooray and sail through the open window, carrying the rest of the flower pots with him. The old lady stood petrified, so she was not able to do anything, so she was just standing there. Carrying the rest of the flower pots with him, the old lady stood petrified. Petrified means she was astonished, surprised. She stands still that she is not able to move anymore, and she was shocked. With astonishment peering over her glasses, Tom lay on the floor expiring with the laughter. So what had happened? The cat pushed everything and it was taking a flower outside the window and just falling and jumping and running away. Aunt rushed to the place and she was not having a word to speak. She was just standing and she was waiting for the thing and no word in her mouth. She doesn't know what to be done. Okay, Tom, what on earth ails that cat? I don't know. Aunt gasped the boy. Why, I never see anything like it. What did make him act so? Did I don't know, Aunt Polly. Cats always act so when they are having good time. So what he was saying, see, aunt is asking why cat is doing like that, why Peter is doing like that, what happened to it? So Tom is saying, I don't know, auntie, sometimes the cat will be behaving like that. They do they are. So act so when they are having good time. When cats have good time, they will be doing like that, I hope, he was saying. So he was not telling the truth. Something in the tone of that made Tom apprehensive. Yes, ma'am. That is, believe they do. You do? Yes, ma'am. The old lady bent down and took the teaspoon and held it out. Tom winced and dropped his eyes. Aunt Polly raised him by the usual handle, his ear, and cracked him head soundly with her thimble. Now, sir, what did you want to treat that poor dumb beast so for? So here aunt is asking. She found out the medicine and the spoon there, and she took the spoon and he was just twisting the ears of Tom. Usually she used to do, and she was twisting and making him this, what made you to do this? And what was there? Now, sir, what did you want to treat that poor dumb beast? Why you want to treat that poor dumb beast? I done it out of pity for him because he hadn't had any aunt. So what he was saying? See, aunt, he was not having any aunt. So what I started being a aunt for the cat. So I've given heaps, because if he had one, she had burnt him out herself. She heard a roasted bowl out of him, thought any more feelings than if he was a human. Aunt Polly felt a sudden painful regret. This was putting the things in a new light. What was cruelty to the cat might be cruelty to a boy too. She began to soften. She felt sorry. Her eyes watered a little, and she put her hand on Tom's head and said gently, I was meaning for the best, Tom, and Tom, it did do you good. Tom looked up in her face with just a recognizable twinkle peeping through his gravity. I know you was meaning for the best, auntie, and so was I with Peter. So here aunt felt the word which Peter spoke. She felt that, that it was because of pity, the love, the care I'm having, I was just doing. Whether it harmed you, anything she was talking. And what she was saying, I'm just taking care of you. The love I'm having is that much, she was telling. And Tom is saying, so he also want to be a best aunt in the world like her. So he had given to the Peter that. Okay. Done him good too. I never see him around so since. Oh, go along with you, Tom, before you annoy me again. And you try and see if you can't be a good boy for once, and you need not take any more medicine. So aunt realized how much he was troubling him. So when he given to the cat, when cat was trembling and he was just finding, he understood that same way the aunt also was just troubling the cat. How Tom troubled the cat, the same way aunt also troubled Tom, and she understood very well, and she said that if you behaving properly and if you doing properly, and it is not necessary to continue the same medicine. So that was the end of the story. That was the end of the story, children. So what the moral you learnt? Sometimes if you are mischievous, you will be taken naughty and you will be given medicine and all, isn't it? Sometimes it happens. Even in your life, they will be taking. And if you were so dull because of some other reason and you are not sharing with your parents, they will be started treating you. They will be started treating you the treatment, and that will not be the good for him. And this tells us very clearly that Tom was understanding the love of aunt, and aunt also understood that Tom was really, she had troubled him by just thinking that she was taking care much So like that she was troubling him. She understood how the cat trembled and went. The same way Tom also would have got the feeling. And Tom understood that there is no lovely auntie like her in old world. So he also want to be a best aunt in this old world like his aunt to the cat and other pet animals. Thank you children. I believe you understand the lesson. You enjoyed it.